seeing as that he dusted off his opponent quickly, he doesn't need a shower. He's already ready to speak to us here on talkSPORT. The beast from the East himself, the one, the only, Mr. Anthony Yarde is back on the show. Welcome back to talkSPORT, Anthony. How are you?
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Great performance this evening, of course, but the more exciting news, no disrespect to your opponent this evening, is, of course, the announcement now of that world title unification fight in January. Last time, obviously, you took on Kovalev. You had to do that out in Russia. How delighted are you that you've got this one on home soil?
Yeah, I'm happy. It's mad because I've actually started my professional career in that same arena. So it's a bit, it's like it's meant to be.
What are the learns from that first fight? Because you've most certainly developed since the Kovalev fight to where we find you at right now. What are the things that you've learned about yourself in that particular moment to what is going to help you January 28th taking on Beterbiev?
I feel like time and experience. When I fought Kovalev, I was 18 fights in, coming off of 12 amateur fights. Most of my 18 fights just didn't go the distance. I think one went the distance and it was a 4-rounder. So I feel like I'm a lot more experienced now. I feel like I'm mentally ready as well.
You've also been very busy, all through the COVID period. You stayed very busy. You had the loss to Lyndon Arthur that you learnt from as well. I know you felt hard done by at the time, Anthony. Do you feel like you're reaching maturity now? Because this is going to be a barnstormer of a fight. Adam and I we almost couldn't sit in our seats thinking about this announcement tonight. This is a battle royale when you two meet.
Exactly. Clash of the Titans. I feel like we're both knockout artists.
Yeah.
We're both entertainers as well. So I feel like it's one of them fights. I feel like it should have been a pay-per-view fight, to be honest, but it's here, it's in London, so I'm happy.
I think that home advantage, as Adam just mentioned, is huge because it's late January. We know you won't be attacking the turkey too heavily. You're probably about to go into camp very soon, and thankfully tonight, I almost called him Krylov then, but he's Koykov. You KO'd Koykov tonight with, I think he caught you with one counter hook. That he did, didn't he, in the contest? You bashed him up. Presumably you've got a week off and you're straight into a deep full camp.
Well, yeah, it's about being active. So everyone talks about this straight back into camp thing. I never take more than a week off of training anyway. So it's just going to be like back to normal for me. And the only thing that's going to change is that we know that we've got another date. So it's like the focus is going to start a bit earlier. Other than that, it's just business as usual. We're always trying to get better every fight. And it's just like this fight that's coming next is the one that I wanted for since the beginning of my career, really.
Mate, what an unbelievable fight this is for British fight fans, especially happening on British soil too. You mentioned the knockout artist. He's got 100% knockout rate. You've got 88% knockout rate. I think the betting people will most certainly say that this one is not going the distance. What have you seen in him that you can take full advantage of, Anthony?
I feel like it will just have to show on Fight Night. Everyone does this talking thing. I know we're meant to build up the fight and sell the fight and make all these predictions, but I don't feel like it's a Houdini kind of situation. I feel like what's facts is that we're both big punchers. We both like to get the job done within the 12 rounds, and then I just feel like it's an explosive fight. So it's a good matchup to be made. For me, one of the best in boxing, and I'm just excited for it.
He's turning 38 in January, a week before the fight. Do you think his age may be a factor in this?
Well, again, we have to wait and see. But from what I've seen, I don't think he's taking that much punishment. I know he had a lot of amateur fights. Don't quote me. I think it's definitely over 200 amateur fights. But I don't feel like he's had that much damage been done on him. And they say in boxing, how old you are is how much punishment you're taking. So I'm not really going in there thinking that that's an advantage or anything like that. It's just that I've got to just be 100% focused.
You, from a British fan's point of view, and this is just me speaking openly, I look at, for example, the fight that Artur Beterbiev had with Callum Johnson, and Callum hurts him early. He puts Artur down in that fight early doors, and obviously it doesn't materialise as a Callum win that night. But there's signs there that this guy can be hurt. You most certainly have the power. And one thing that is in your favour, Anthony, and this isn't against any other fighter that has been in with Arthur, when you do get somebody hurt, you take them out. And that is, for me, just an observer, I'm sure you'll have your own game plan, but from an observer, it would be an early situation. To get on him early, to impose your thing nice and early, and let that power go, mate. And let's see if we can test them whiskers.
We'll see what happens. Again, everyone's got their speculation of how things go. You get in there with somebody, and again, the way they shape up can be different. He could shape up, and I could be like, I can hit this guy at will. He could shape up, and I could be like, I have to figure this out. In boxing, you don't know. So for me, it's about training, leaving up to the team around me to try and pick him apart, and then we work on what we're going to work on. And then at the end of the day, we've got to get in there. We got to fight, so that's the part that's the most exciting for me.
That's hearing you say pick him apart is music to my ears, Anthony, because most people think you're going to go in there and do battle royal with him. Like you say, it is Clash of the Titans because you're both very heavy-handed. But I love to hear you say pick him apart, because a smart fight here is so important, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what boxing's about. Even if you're a knockout artist, it's still whoever's the smartest. Because from all the fights I've had anyway, you can hit someone, they got their gloves up, you keep throwing punches or whatever. If you're silly with it, again with the Kovalev fight, when I had him hurt, I wasn't thinking. It was the first time being in that situation. I just started swinging. But everyone knows when you see me fight, usually I will land a good shot and then I know I will finish the fight. But in that fight, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm hurt. And I just started doing Dragon Ball Z punches everywhere. I started throwing random haymakers all over the place. So it's still about how smart you are. But if you're going 12 rounds or if you're going 2 rounds, the smarter fighter is the one that lands the punch.
But at the time, you hadn't gone beyond 7 rounds in a fight, from memory, I think. So it was a massive learning curve in some ways, wasn't it?
Exactly. And I'd only been 7 rounds once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How many text messages and phone calls have you had for tickets already, mate?
Say that again?
How many phone calls and text messages have you had from friends and family for tickets? I bet your phone is absolutely lighting right up, isn't it?
It's been pinging from from a couple of weeks ago, from it started talking about. But again, for me, my only focus up until this point was the fight that I just had. So, it wasn't really about anything else.
Listen, enjoy camp. We're rooting for you. Go well, man. We're looking forward to being there at the back end of January.
Thanks for joining us.
This barnstormer. Yeah, top man. Thank you very much, Anthony.
See you soon.
Cheers.
Take care. There you go. Anthony Yarde obviously took care of his opponent, Stefani Koykov, this evening. But the bigger story off the back of that is that the unified light heavyweight world champion, Artur Beterbiev, will be Anthony's next opponent. And that will be taking place right here in the UK.
Huge,
Wembley
Adam,
Arena
in London.
On January
3 belts.
28th.
It's huge.